Just imagine that you are digging the earth and 3 feet beneath there is the gold, but you stop digging just 3 feet before you reach the gold. Hello everyone, the book that we are going to review today is Think and Grow Rich. Let us begin with a story, 3 feet from gold. This story is of an uncle of R.U. Debris. So basically what happens at that time, uncle did not hear that more gold has been mined from the brains of the people and not from beneath the earth. Of course, there's more gold inside the earth. So there was this dig and grow rich concept. So what uncle of Debris decides is to go ahead and dig the ground. So he did a lot of hard work and then he finally found that, okay, this is where the gold will be there, and he starts digging that particular place. And after finding that shining material, the shining gold ore, what he does is he covers that particular region and quietly he moves to Maryland, where his home is there. And then in Maryland, he finds the machinery for digging the earth, and he gets some, very close and trustworthy neighbors, and then he reaches those gold mines again. He starts digging the gold ore, he gets 1 car gold, then 2 car. Then just when he was about to be done with his debt that he was facing, something happened. What happened is they kept on drilling, and at a point the vein from the region from where he was getting that gold, that disappeared. He stopped getting the gold anymore. So he was like, now what to do? He kept digging for some time, and then when he thought that, okay, now I'm done, there is no more gold, so I will do one thing, the machinery which I had brought, I'll sell it off at a very less price. Just he sold off. Now what happens, the person to whom he sells this machinery, what he does is he thinks that, okay, let me do one thing, let me just once take the help of an expert engineer and go and check that mine where there is no more gold, and this person, he sold me the machinery. So what he does is, this junk man, he decides to take that expert advice. He gets engineers and then he checks that particular place, and then he finds that just 3 feet beneath the earth there was gold. So A decided to quit just 3 feet from the gold. So when we are so near to what we need, to our desires, we stop at that time. So in this case, A was about to fulfill his desires, but then he stopped very near to his goal, and that is why he was not able to succeed. Later on, he moves ahead and he goes for an insurance job, and there he decides not to give up. And though people would say at first that no, I do not require insurance, but he was so much sticking around with those people. And this lesson that he stopped just 3 feet away from the goal, this gave him such a kick for the rest of his life that he would not take no as an answer. Though people would initially say that no, I don't need an insurance, but still he would be able to sell insurance to people even in that case. So this is the power of desires, and when we do not quit what we desire, then this is what happens. This was the first story with which the book starts. The story is in the introduction part itself. Now let me share another story from the introduction part itself. This is a 50-cent lesson in persistence. This shows the power of persistence. Let me just cut the story short for you. So what happens is, a girl who is colored, probably because this is an old book. It was first published in 1937, and we are talking about this in just after a few years, it will be 100 years, right? So a 50-cent lesson in persistence, the second story from the introduction itself. So here what happens is, a child who is colored, basically the daughter of a tenant who happens to work in the field of the person. So what happens is, the daughter goes and she asks that my mammy sent me for 50 cents, okay? And the owner, he says that now you run on home, okay? I just go home, okay? So I'm not giving you any money, that is silent, and just go home. The child said, yeah, sure. and then she kept waiting. After some time, she was just standing there, and this man who was working, he saw that okay, she still did not move, she's not even going. That child, she kept standing there, she was not moving, she did not resist, she did not quarrel with the man that okay, I'm not going. She was just giving some time, and after some time she screamed at this incident was going on for quite some time, and then when she was done with waiting and listening that okay, sure, I'm going home, okay, sure. So when that story was 4-5 times, and after that she shouted at the top of her voice, my mommy gotta have that 50 cent, that you are going to give me those 50 cent. She shouted it at the top of her voice, and this man who was working on his field, he somehow just took out the money and he gave it to that child who was a colored child. So after she had gone, uncle sat down on a box and looked out the window into space for more than 10 minutes. He was pondering in awe over the whipping he had just taken. That how come I bowed down, or I did what that child asked me to do? How did this happen? So this is persistent. How she was not fighting for it, not quarreling with the man instantly, giving him his time to absorb everything, asking for the money in a very decent manner for quite some time, and in the end she just convinced him to give her the money that she deserved. So now let us go into some image slide form so that we will be able to retain this book for a longer period. I have made all the bookmarks here, but it will be difficult even with the bookmarks to go on in this mode. Now, when we study Buddhism, at that time we go with the desire is the root cause of all sorrow. This book starts with the starting point of all achievements, desire. So number 1 is desire. This is also the chapter number 2 because it started with introduction. So anyways, this book has 13 simple steps, the 13 steps, and it has 14 chapters because chapter 1 is introduction and then the 13 steps. The 13 steps includes desire, faith, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, organized planning, my favorite chapter, chapter number 6, organized planning, number 7, decision, number 8, persistence, number 9, power of the mastermind, number 10, the mystery of sex transmutation, number 11, the subconscious mind, number 12, the brain, and number 13, the sixth sense. Let us begin with chapter desire. Desire, the starting point of all achievement. This is quite opposite to what it says in Buddhism because desire is the root cause of all sorrow, and if those are fulfilled, then obviously they are the starting point of all achievements as well.